chances are you're viewing this because you're considering purchasing or increasing your life insurance coverage, and you want to make sure you do it right the first time. Many people are shopping online for life insurance, and they're doing it for convenience and because, quite frankly, everybody hates a pushy salesperson. But don't make a move until you watch this short video. I'm going to tell you the 7 things you must know before you buy life insurance. Number 1, why you need to be careful when shopping online for life insurance. Getting quotes online may bring you some surprises. In fact, many of those sites that you visit are not insurance companies at all, but lead generation sites. They then take that personal information you've entered, your name, your birthday, your address, your health information, and then they sell that to multiple agents. How comfortable does that make you feel knowing that your personal information is now on the desks of people you don't even know who they are? Second, there's an assumption that when you buy life insurance online, you're going to save money. Well, that's actually not true. The companies that are doing business online are using the same companies, for example, that I use. Next is service. If you buy from an online company, when you need service or your family needs service, if something's happened to you, who are they going to call? They're going to call an 800 number, press 1 for English, or they're going to call their agent directly. Some companies offer no exam life insurance. People ask how they can do that. Well, it's simple. You pay more for it. And in most cases, you're going to have limited benefits the first few years. Number 2, how to find the right agent. A lot of people ask, shouldn't I just get this through the same agent that insures my home, my cars, and my boat? When you compare the rates between life insurance companies and those other multi-line companies, you'll see why. These multi-line companies often use life insurance to make up for their lower margin lines, and lately, due to losses from bad weather. Should I use a captive or an independent agent? Well, captive insurance agents typically have limited product lines available to them, whereas an independent agent has access to most all the companies that are licensed to do business in your state. 3, how to determine how much life insurance you need. That varies by individual and family circumstance. There are some basic formulas that people recommend you use, such as multiple of income, that type of thing. There is a simple, easy-to-use form on my website that you can just fill in the blanks. It'll help you to determine how much life insurance you need if you don't really know. In the final analysis, the amount of life insurance that you buy is really determined by what you want to do for your family. What you want to provide for your spouse, what your debts are, what you want to provide for your children in the event you're not there to do it yourself. Number 4, what to look for in the quotes that you receive. Most people who are shopping online are looking for term insurance. And term insurance is the least costly of life insurance and gives most families the most bang for their buck. Term insurance basically is a set amount of coverage for a set period of time for a guaranteed price. When you get those quotes, there ought to be at least 4 quotes from top-rated companies. And these companies should be rated A or better, and the reason being is you only want to deal with companies that have a long history of keeping their promises. In fact, those quotes ought to also reflect comparisons for 10, 15, 20, or even 30 years, depending on your age. In fact, the younger you are, the more cost-effective it is to go for a longer period of coverage if you need the coverage for that period. Number 5, what you need to know if you have any pre-existing health issues. And how does that affect your application? Not all insurance companies treat the same health conditions in the same way. It's important to apply to the company that's going to give you the most favorable rate right from the very beginning. What you don't want is to apply and be declined, because that creates a permanent record in what's called the MIB, which is kind of like a credit report for life insurance. You want to avoid that at all costs. An experienced financial professional should have a process in place to help you determine the best company to apply at the very first and help you avoid the huge mistake of being declined. Number 6, what you should expect once you apply for life insurance. First off, know what you're applying for up front. How much coverage, how long that's going to be guaranteed, and you should also know what the company is going to expect of you. Are you going to need an exam? Does that include blood, urine, EKG? If you have things in your medical past, they may require what's called an APS, or an attending physician statement, which they're going to need to send off for your doctor for. Understand the process takes on average between 4 and 8 weeks. Now at the end of that process, once they make you an offer, you're not locked in. You can review that offer, and if you like it or something's changed, or maybe they came back with a rate different than you applied for, you have what's called a free look period where you can return that application and policy and get a full refund with no questions asked. Number 7, why not just buy life insurance from our group plan at work? Well, one problem with that is the amount that's available to you at your employer is usually limited by a formula that's typically related to your salary. But more importantly, if you decide to leave that employer, you leave your coverage behind in most all cases. Now, if you've had significant health issues, you may find it hard or next to impossible to replace that coverage. And like all employer group coverage, it's usually banded in 5-year increments, which means you're going to see an increase every 5 years. And since we're talking about employer coverage, and I live in a town that has a large number of federal employees, let's talk about the federal employee group life insurance. Like most group plans, it's weighed toward the younger employees, which means once you hit about 45 or 50, oftentimes you can see significant savings if you're reasonably healthy to look outside the plan for your life insurance needs. As you can see, buying life insurance can be a very complex process, which is why it makes sense to use a seasoned licensed professional. I have 24 years of experience, and I can help you through all the roadblocks I previously described. I represent dozens of top life insurance companies, and I can help make what for most is a very tedious process a very simple one. For a free comparison of the top life insurance plans for you, and a copy of the free report, The 7 Things You Must Know Before You Buy Life Insurance, just click on the button below the screen, and I'll be happy to put that together and get it emailed to you. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen. I look forward to hearing from you and hopefully satisfying your insurance needs.